to radar, if we could, guys, for a minute. So that's what Jeremy has for us in Okmulgee. We'll keep it on. Yeah, there's a hail core and a half. So that's coming in Preston to Okmulgee. And was that due east? You said? Okay. So it's coming across the airport area, and you can see what's happening here. Rapid development. Blooming up. Let's do a 3D too, if we can, on that. So that gives you a pretty good perspective there. And Jeremy shot. Okay, let's go back to Jeremy shot while we're setting up 3D, if we could, on REM 23. So this is what he's seeing now. Notice what's coming in there. And so you're seeing that coming on in. So there's going to be some big chunks of hail. Don't know. Rotation's still kind of broad in that area, and a lot of turbulence going on. Right there, just west of Okmulgee and northwest of Okmulgee. So that's anywhere from Beggs to Preston to Nuyaka to Okmulgee. That's kind of the area that's included in this big storm. This is a big storm, taking up a lot of real estate right now, and probably dumping very heavy rain, but it's also unfortunately dumping at least golf ball size hail. Most of the reports have been golf ball size hail or larger with that. So what do you have, Stacia, on that?
It kind of gets cut off in the vertical development here, but you can definitely see, if we back it up, when it was in Creek County, that's when it really started to develop that hail core, and then those hailstones lofted high. It's getting larger, and then now as it moves over to Beggs and Preston, you're getting into the whites and the blacks there, kind of in the center of that. That's going to be some large hailstones coming in just on the north side of Okmulgee there, Trav. So we'll see kind of how long it can hold itself together. The storm that came through Sapulpa to Jinx and along the south sides of the Tulsa Metro, that stayed together for a while and eventually falling apart as it got over into BA. We'll see how long this one can hold together, but that is some large hail now crossing 75, and then that should continue over, clipping along the Okmulgee Airport, and then over to Highway 52 just north of Morris.
All right, and can you take us to T6 for a minute?
Yes.
And we'll look at so we'll have a couple of different views of what's going on. Okay. So that's in the lower right-hand corner, that's Jeremy and from Okmulgee, and then this is looking at the storm moving east out of South Tulsa, and the sun shining from Jinx, where we had hail and wind just an hour ago. And so what? Okay, they're going to take a tornado warning?
No, back up into Delaware County.
Oh, into Delaware County. Yeah. All right. Let's go back up over there then to get. Let's go back to what's happening with the storm. So and that was the storm we've been sitting and watching to the northeast, and the rotation we talked about getting stronger, and so that's continuing to do its thing, and so that's the one that is going to continue to move over from Locust Grove, and it's continuing to move toward Leech, so that circulation feature hasn't changed. National Weather Service decided to pull the plug on this one and call a tornado warning. Couplets there, and you can see it's been going on for about the last 15 minutes. And so that's a tornado warned storm again, just crossing the lake and moving to the east-northeast. And the storm that you're seeing with the picture there, that's the one down in Okmulgee. And you have a Brandon?
I just wanted to tell you, Brandon's GPS is not correct as what it shows on radar. He's a few miles further east of that.
He is, okay. Can he see? I know there's tree. Oh, yep, he just updated a rose. Brandon, can you look back up into that storm at all and see anything? I know you're just on the edge of it. What do you have?
Yeah, Travis, so whenever we were looking at it about 5 minutes ago, there on the leading edge, we could see, and I was talking with Aaron, we could see some rising scud on the leading edge of that wraparound rain curtain. So there was definitely some rising motion going on there. We're trying to get out ahead of these trees right now, Travis, to get a really good shot. But when we did get eyes on it, it did have some rising motion and some wrapping rain curtains there, Travis.
Okay, that's what we don't want to see. But this is cycled back up again. I mean, it never really ever quit. And, you know, Vaughn has been on that. Val was on the north side of it. Vaughn has been on that from Catoosa. And so that is wrapped back into it again. So it's still a very dangerous storm. And we do have a new tornado warning associated with that as that continues to move to the east. And so that is, at this particular moment, we'll call it a tornado warning that'll be valid till 7:15 for southwestern Delaware and for southeastern Mayes County. if you're in that area, we do want you to just be taking cover because it continues to be right on that apex and that rotating area of that storm. So you could have a spin up at any time right in there, and you see it's just wrapped up on itself. And that has been the case. I mean, on a normal radar, you go, it just looks like rain. But then you start looking at what's going on inside, and you can see the circulation feature so much better of where it is. And as it's crossing the lake, now on the east side of the lake, and not too far from around the dam area. So hopefully Brandon will have a shot back into that in a while. Meantime, as that storm moves to the east, that's a tornado warning, as we said. And then further to the south and west, we still have that big thunderstorm. And let's see, Jeremy's had to reposition again. But we are still concerned, too, with what's going on around Okmulgee and velocity data. So those are the two big storms right now that we have. So there's still a lot going on with this one. Let's check the latest hail update, too, and see what we have. So that's come down a little bit on the hail size. Still chunks of hail should be falling on the north side of Okmulgee. And our live radar, can that slice into that storm right there? Okay, so that's what we're seeing right now with that. Okay, and then let's go to INX for a second and see if that sees anything different. So that sees a little bit more of the circulation feature on the south side. This storm, is that moving east or it's east-southeast? A little bit southeast? Okay, so that's going to add to a little rotation to it. So that's what we got to watch out for there. So that's still a big, big thunderstorm. Rotation's not really there going on. It's more turbulent air and more gusty winds associated with this. Hail core, though, is right there. Jeremy's by that. He's going to take the east side of that, probably head down and go off and to the east toward Morris. There. All right, and then back to our other tornado warned storm. So this is the one that we have. Brandon's near the Rose area at this particular moment, just east of Rose. And you can see that circulation continues to be to the north. Not a real tight. This is pretty much broad. And so this is a huge area that's just rotating like this. And so when we get a tight couplet, usually we'll be able to see that on radar where there's a higher probability of a tornado. But still, it can produce a tornado at any time. And maybe by the time that I even open my mouth, there'd be one. So just please be very much aware of what's going on right here. I'll get out the picture so you can see what's going on. This is the circulation feature. Would be at 4460 Road. 4480 Road, and then on the north side would be North 447 Road, and the south side is pretty much right on 412. That's where some really strong winds should be showing up right now. You should have some strong southwest winds pulling in right here on 412, and then you should have more of an easterly wind pulling in from the reservoir area, and then back on over toward the lake. So that would be where we'd say, could we do a shear indicator too right now? And then I'll have you a storm track if you could. Yeah, so it's pretty much we're just wrapped up again. It's almost like it's trying to occlude on itself once again. But that's the center of it. That's where the strongest winds are. What do you have, Station?
I wouldn't hate it if it occluded on itself again.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, for this storm here, that circulation just now northwest of Rose, and that's tracking over across kind of the northern parts of the community. So we want you to be in your safe spot in Rose because this is just too close to call for you. So please find that centermost part of your home and find the lowest level with as many walls between yourself and the outside as possible. For Kenwood, this is coming up at 6:51, so 10 more minutes for Kenwood. Leech would be 6:56, Tag Flats closer to 7 o'clock, along with Bull Hollow, Twin Oaks, and Lake Uchi. Trav.
All right, thanks. I was looking at some of the hail reports, too, that came out of we did have one baseball-sized report of hail that did fall on the south side of Broken Arrow. So we did get a report of baseball-sized hail on the south side of Broken Arrow, just north of the Turnpike. And then 2-inch size hail, which is about hen egg size hail, was around that as well. So that's the largest hail reports that came in. So that's chunks of hail. Man, that's big. But that gives you a pretty good idea, too, of what's going on. Storm down to the south continues to still be doing its thing, and it is turbulent. It's coming in on Morris, just already coming through the Okmulgee area. And so the heavy rains and winds are in that area. You can see Jeremy shot. Or no, that's Brandon shot. Let's see, Jeremy, has he repositioned? No, he hasn't yet. He is repositioning. So we're looking at the storm Brandon has. We're going to talk to him in a second. Just be advised, though, you see where Jeremy is, still chunks of hail pulse back up right over Okmulgee. So again, this could be hen eggs, golf ball, up to baseball size around Okmulgee at this moment. So this is where it's been coming in, just developed rapidly and moved to the east, southeast. And wouldn't be surprised if this hangs together for a little bit. This is a little bit more, a little bit of shear, not a lot, but this is something we keep an eye on. And can you give me one velocity thing here, and then we'll talk to Brandon. So velocity, so there is quite a bit of turbulence. I'd say there's probably some 50, 60 mile an hour winds easy in some of this. So if you're in this area, just be advised. So this is Okmulgee right in here. And do you have Brandon, or who do you have with?
I was going to say we do have Alan there, just off to the east of that. Looking, he's got a shot looking back
Alan
that direction now.
Okay, good. Alan, let's go to you. What do you have for us on that Okmulgee storm heading into Morris?
Travis, got sunny skies right now. Some clouds starting to form directly west of us. We've got a pretty good shot right now, if you can tell. Fortunately, no rain, no large hail in this area just yet, but we're waiting for the storm
That's
to
headed
approach
your
you
way.
nice and close.
Yeah, it's you're in a good position there. So we'll wait. Yep, there's that. You can just stare at the storm that's right in that area, not too far from the cell tower. So that's the vertical development. And then Jeremy, he's still moving. So we'll call that good for right now. Thanks, Al. Appreciate that. Let's go back and so you see what's going on there and where Ellen is located. And that storm is headed eastbound. Station, did you have a storm track on there?
I do. Yes,
Okay.
It's ready. So this storm is going to head over towards Morris by 6:50. That's about 7 more minutes. Then continuing on to Boynton by 7:06 and Council Hill by 7:08.
We're hoping not to have a tornado warning, but we did add Muskogee County to the tornado watch area. And that's because circulation feature with this storm is just getting going. And that could ramp up here still for another hour or so. So that's something we have to watch. Back to the northeast, we have the tornado warning. Brandon's been on this storm. And Brandon, I know you had a great video there. Give me an update. What do you have?
Yeah, Travis, right now we are looking off to our north and west. You can see there in our shot, there seems to be, you see that right there above the tree line?
Yep.
We've been watching that, and that has been periodically coming in and out. We believe that the area of rotation is going to be right there, buried around the rain curtain. If I pan back out a little bit, you can see right underneath it as it starts to come out of the rain. We're watching that right there very closely, Travis.
Yeah. And that is still.
And it's starting to tighten up, it looks like.
It is. And that's the whole thing is rotating. You are. It's kind of
We are
rotating.
just.
Go ahead.
We're off of 412, just to the west of Leech by 3 miles.
Okay. And that is still, the tighter circulation is right in there. So, if there's remember, this is a tornado-warned storm. And so it's just northeast of Locust Grove right now, west of Leech, and that's where Brandon's located. So he's literally right next to it. Keep an eye on what's going on with that one as that moves to the east. And the speed with the tornado warning, so that's only moving east at about 20 miles per hour, Station?
Really slowed down.
Okay, what do you have for a storm track?
All right, so this is going to take it over to Rose and Leech. And so for Rose, that would be at 6:49. Leech would be closer to 7:03. Rocky Ford by 7:06. Twin Oaks and also Oaks would be closer to 7:15.
All right, thanks, appreciate that. Hail core, there should be something going on with that as well, but that's a storm there. And then it doesn't look too impressive at this point, but the whole circulation feature, you can pretty much make out what's going on right in there. Hail core, obviously, still showing up down to the south, and with a severe thunderstorm. Do you have Brandon? Okay, Jeremy is, okay, let's go down the other storm. Oh yeah, he's got another great shot. All right, so this storm in Okmulgee right now, let's go back to the Jeremy's shot if you can. Here's what he's seeing, same thing again. You can see what's happening right here. Updraft area here. Tail cloud coming in, that's moist air coming back into it. And you can see what's happening here. And look at the wisp happening right in here. So this is the condensation right in that area. So he's watching what's going on right in here. And you can see, so that's moist air getting pulled back up into that, condensating. And so that's what we see right in there. Circulation with that, we have the tornado warning, as we said, for Leech. We do not have a tornado warning right now for the Okmulgee storm, Morris storm, but that is still a very intense thunderstorm right now, and very large hail has continued to be reported with this. So we do want you to be advised. how big this storm is as it continues to track. All right, let's go ahead and let's go back to radar. Shear is not as strong, and so it's not super tight. But again, if you're right in Okmulgee, extending to Morris, this storm you want to watch with us. Hail core is maybe down a tad bit, still hanging in there though. And that looks like that's, I think we have mentioned Gun Club Road
We have.
a lot. Man, okay, what do you have for us on that? Yeah.
So tracking the strongest part of this thunderstorm trap, moving it to the east at about 35. So we're talking about large hail. Looks like that hail core just in the latest scan may have come down slightly, but not near enough. And so we're going to also track the really strong winds and the hails here. So from the Okmulgee Regional Airport to the east, this will take it over towards Boynton by 7:09, Jamesville by 7:12, and Morris, it is just a few miles back to your west at this point. Council Hill by 7:13, and again into Muskogee County with this storm trap, but still that's some large hail to fall that could do some damage, and we're still going to monitor for power outages tonight, but we haven't had much, which is a good thing.
That is wonderful, and hopefully it can stay that way. The updated severe thunderstorm warning is for primarily central and eastern Okmulgee County right now, and they're picking up the speed on this storm a little bit to 30 to 35. So thanks, Stacia. Appreciate that. Hail size does appear to have dropped off a little bit, but we will have to keep watching what's going on with that. And then we have as well back to the tornado warned storm to the north for Brandon. He's in the middle of that. And Brandon, if you're with us right now, can you give us an update on what you have?
Yeah, Travis, right now we're moving east on 412. Very heavy rainfall. When we were sitting there, we didn't experience any wind at all. So right now we're moving east, and we're going to try to keep up with this and keep eyes on it, Travis.
Yeah. Tell you, and a lot of trees. You're keeping an eye on trees there too. So Brandon is just to his north. You see the circulation right here. The tighter part is right in this zone. So it's just across the county line here. So just to the east, northeast of Rose at this moment. There's Brandon getting ready to go through the split area. And then that would be pretty much right along, what is that, 4518 Road, where it intersects with East 520 Road. If you're there, we would like you to be in a safer place. You should have some strong gusty winds right in that location. And if not, some scary looking clouds right above your head. And in advance of that is County Road 543 and 552. You guys are up next. Also 4520 Road, so you guys be aware. That tornado warning extends all the way to Leech, Twin Oaks. Stacia was giving a storm track on that. It's not super tight, so that is good news. We'd like to keep it that way, but tornado could develop right along this nose at any time, because this is the center of circulation here, but it's not real tight. And that's tracking off to the east. So that's where we're watching this one. We have another shot from Jeremy down in Oklahoma City. Let's go to that, and let's go back down to Oklahoma City. All right, Oklahoma City. Oh my gosh, I'm so used to saying that. Jeremy is in Morris looking at this right now. He's got a closer look at what's going on. Jeremy is from Oklahoma City, so he's looking underneath it right now. And this is what he is seeing. So if you're in Morris, right around the Morris area, so he gave us a shot. So he's right in the middle of it at this point. Looks like he's doing a turnaround, and he's just on the north side of Morris as that's coming into town and moving through. All right, let's go back to radar and get another update. So he is, you can see where he is located, and circulation feature, again, it's not real tight. You have
Alan there nearby.
Okay, is Alan, all right, let's see if Alan shot. Alan, what's your shot look like now from your location? If we could, we'll go to his shot and see what he has for us on 39. There you go. So this is a look at it. So you can see the difference from Jeremy, who is underneath this. And this is more of a shelf kind of sticking out. You can kind of see it extending there. It kind of looks more like a shelf coming at Alan. And so there's some wind potential with that. And we're anticipating probably some 40, 50 mile an hour winds underneath that. Pretty turbulent, but we don't have a real tight rotation. So, I mean, we're going to be pretty doggone happy about that. But it is a severe thunderstorm warning. right around the Morris area. And Stacia, what do you have for storm track?
All right, Trav, so this one is one of our slower movers of today. So we're talking about this one tracking at about 25 to 30, and really we could even increase it up to about 35. So down to the south here, we're talking about Okmulgee County and heading over into Muskogee County. So this storm here, that now some of the strongest parts of it is Morris up to the north. We'll track that over into the Boynton area, Taft to Wainwright, and I'll back it up to about 35. So that will take it to Boynton by 7:07, Wainwright by 7:16, Taft by 7:20. The severe thunderstorm warning, that continues until 7 o'clock, so a few more minutes for Okmulgee County, but then continuing again over into Muskogee County for this storm. Trav?
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that very much. Again, winds are not super strong, and there's not a whole lot of shear with this storm, and so we're pretty happy with that. We do have on traffic, can we do T5? And then I don't know if we can pan or not very much, or if, Jalen, if you could just show T5 for a second. So that's that thunderstorm we're looking at. This is from Tulsa, and so you can see the flanking line right in here. So that's where the storm is building. This is the updraft areas here, and then you can see the whole storm right there. Great picture, thanks. And that's looking down southeast of Tulsa. And again, Tulsa's on a kind of a grid, so we're looking more southeast than we are due south. But this is the whole thunderstorm itself. This is the one that's down at Morris at this time. And the vertical top, we still have what we call pretty hard towers that are going up in this area. So there's still a lot of vertical development with this thunderstorm, but that gives you perspective. I mean, the sunshine in here, life is great, but again, under a thunderstorm is not so much fun in the month of May. That's the last place you really want to be most of the time. So that's a look at the thunderstorm and what it looks like from downtown Tulsa as we've cleared out here in Tulsa. And then back down to the thunderstorm itself one more time. And Stacia did the storm track. The warning is still in effect for this particular part of the storm. So this is the meteor part of the storm from where Jeremy is located, and then from where Allen is looking back into it. So Allen still has a good shot. Let's go to Allen shot on REM 39 if we could. And so he's looking back into that. Once again, just kind of wanted to point out the shelf, and then you can kind of see the ragtag that's going on underneath of it. And so that's cool air that's getting blasted out from that thunderstorm. And so that's creating a shelf environment. And you can kind of see that's warm, moist air coming up over it and going back up into the thunderstorm. So it's kind of a cool dynamics that are at play with this storm. Then you see the lowered cloud base underneath with what's going on. And as we call it sometimes, SLC, scary looking clouds, or as John says, spooky looking clouds. So we have new nomenclature for that. But that's a storm that we're worried about and concerned about. And thank you. And then let's go back to that's the severe thunderstorm warning, and let's go back tornado warning storm for you guys. Brandon's in the middle of that. Bob's now going to be intercepting that as well. Brandon, what do you have for us? What are you in the middle of? Is the mic on?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Travis?
Okay, now I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, so right now we're just continuing to drive in very heavy rain. We're still moving east. We're going to get up here to, I think it's Highway 59, and we're going to try to get eyes back on that area of interest that's just to our west. But just a lot of heavy rain, Travis. It's still very fortunate, no hail.
All right, now, no kidding. We'll look at the bright side there. Main circulation is Leech, just the north side of Leech, just northwest of Twin Oaks. So that's still tight enough and still a concern. And we've had that tornado warning. Looks like, did they cancel the tornado warning? Okay, so that just got dropped. So a strong, severe thunderstorm continues just in that area. Stacia, if you could give us a storm track on that particular cell.
I also have an update to power outages
good.
well. So just real quick here with power outages, there's quite a few folks south of Claremore, about 400 customers with Verdigris Valley Electric, there, but just south of Claremore is where we find most of our power outages today. A couple hundred in Tulsa, and then also a few hundred now showing up over into parts of Mays County. Now back to our storm track here of the severe thunderstorm that we have in parts of southwestern Delaware County. The area of circulation around the Leech area, as Trav mentioned, that's going to move off to the east at about 35. So that's going to take it here over to Twin Oaks by 7 o'clock, along with Little Kansas shortly after that. Cloud Creek, along with Flint Creek, would be 7:15. Colcord and Rowe and Dripping Springs at about 7:20. And then for Watts and Siloam Springs, that's going to be closer to 7:40. So again, we're tracking the circulation, which the tornado warning has been canceled. So it's no longer a tornado warning for southwestern parts of Delaware County, southeastern Mayes County, and northern Cherokee County. But the circulation still, it's there. It's worth watching, Trav, and we'll keep an eye on it. But it's just around the Leech area up to the northwest of Leech.
All right, thanks. Doing some checking here, and I walked right behind you, I think on TV even. But this is the storm that we're going to be watching. So there's two storms here. Both of these are pretty intense. The one Brandon's on, and then the one that's down around the Pegs area. And there is concern because there's still a tornado watch. And so we're going to be continuing about 2.5 minutes from now. We're going to go to programming just to kind of take a break and take a look unless something pops back up real quick. But the storm at Pegs we'll still have to keep an eye on because this is two severe storms right in here. The one that's over by Morris at this time, we have a shot from Jeremy once again. It's a really good shot of what its base of this is looking at or like. And so again, there's an updraft location in there. There's moist air getting pulled back into it. It does not have a really great circulation feature, which is really great to talk about, and the hail cores themselves have not really come up at all, but we do have the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for northwestern Muskogee and northeastern Okmulgee County now. We've updated that through 7:30. And that storm is just southeast of Bald Hill, moving east at about 30 miles an hour. National Weather Service going with a 60 mile an hour wind gust with that storm and quarter size hail. And Station, if you give us one more storm track on this particular cell to the south, you can see right where some of the strongest shear is located, just off of 16, just north and east of Morris.
That's right. And so this one, Trav, of course, is moving east, and it's moving east at about 30 miles per hour. So we're going to take it into Muskogee County with a severe thunderstorm. And so with this, you're headed to Boynton by 7:07. You're headed to Taft by 7:20. You're headed to Oktahah by 7:27.
All right, so these are still big storms, still a lot of water falling in this, and if we could you bounce out just a little bit through right there? So this is still very, very heavy downpours of rain. Can we see how much rain might have fallen in? Some of it's going to be a little polluted because we've had some hail with this, but there's some water chunks in this coming in at probably about an inch and a half, 2 inches in some of these areas. So don't be surprised in there. So that's what we're going to kind of watch too, because there could be, because the ground's just wet, and so any heavy rains are going to lead to some problems. So these are the two severe thunderstorm warnings that we have active at this time for the most part. The one that's in southern portion of Delaware County, the one that's in northwestern Cherokee County. Any of these storms we're going to watch for rotation, but we have storm trackers surrounding them right now. And the one moving in eastern portions of Okmulgee County and western Muskogee County, that's still a severe storm and still has a lot of scary looking clouds. What we're going to do is take a break, and then we'll be back on our commercial time or be back full time streaming as necessary to be watching for these storms. So thank you again for watching. We'll have more information. Keep it here. We'll keep you advised.